Rebecca's just whispered into my ear. She says she doesn't want to see these dead animals anymore. Oh my goodness. Right, we're going to go to the dam cam now. Oh, look at that. Look at all the beautiful Inyala. Well, the 2 male Inyala with a group of female impala and 1 male impala trotting across the screen. He's very busy at the moment. You can see he definitely doesn't look relaxed at all. Head up, watching out, making sure the ladies don't go too far away from him. Oh, and there's an Egyptian goose too. Oh, we can just do the safari from the dam cam this afternoon, I reckon. Hey, there we go. Smile, Impala, smile. Now, I wonder if he's going to chase the Inyala away because his females are getting very close towards them. But you can see he's... What are you going to do? He's going to chase them off. Make sure to round those girls up again. And isn't it just the most amazing view now? Just a month ago, we were looking at these Inyala and Impala that love it around the dam cam, but just sand. Not even a blade of grass. Where's it gone? Where's my Inyala and Impala gone? Must be the storm. Must be the storm. Now, that's really nice to see them all gathered around there. I suspect, though, with the clouds and things building up, they're probably going to go and look for a little bit of shelter. I think we've got a little bit to go. Eggsy, should we play the guessing game? Let's play the guessing game with the other guides, with Evia and Brent. What time do we think it's going to rain? I think, hang on, we've actually got to go back outside. I'm taking you in and out this afternoon. Right, I think at 5:45 South African time, Central African time, we're going to get the first drop of rain. That's it. So 5:45. Write that down, make a note, because I'm going to win this bet. You know why? It's because I got a little bit of inside information from Downpour Dave, and we know how correct he is. Well, I'm just joking. He didn't give me any information, but I thought it would sound wonderful. There's lightning now. Eggsy, come around here. Just be careful. Don't trip on this big hip bone, though. Actually, you just want to have a look because this has been building up now for a couple of days, and you'll see there's a big dead knobthorn, and there's lightning just forming to the left of that. Oh my goodness, it's actually coming in quicker. Oh my goodness. I may be incorrect, but I will stick to my guts and I'll stick to my time. 5:45 Central African time. That's probably in about an hour and 15 minutes or so. Very scary. Might be interesting in the tent. We better go and get the lilos from Brent's swimming pool. And well, speaking of Brent, the wonderful mechanic who fixes all the vehicles, let's go over to him and see if he's had any luck with Nkahumas.
Hello. Welcome to the middle of the African bush. I've got my very good friend Wiem on camera with me. My name is Brent, and Wiem and I are going to win the bet about when the rain is coming, because we say it's going to rain when it rains. Loophole. No stipulations were made. To be honest, I think it might come a little bit earlier than 5:45, just looking at the sky. We're going to have a good look at the sky shortly. I'm going to stop here at Buffelshoek Waterhole. And we've got a couple of different sort of patches of rain around. And I think, oh, let's go a bit further forward. I'm trying to get through to this. So, I mean, it probably stretches. There's a couple of storms within a storm, so to speak. So that is there down in the south. You can actually see the rain coming out of the clouds. And then we've got a nice little light patch in the middle there. Then the next patch of rain. And it carries on like that. I'd say it's probably stretching over an area of at least 20 kilometers. So really, really big bit of rain. But one of the other caged when the lightning comes, and Cage is wondering, does the safari go along when there's lightning? The vehicles will drop our antennas and head for home. Now, we have a nice big antenna sticking out, so rain's not a problem, but lightning is actually more of a problem. If it rains, we put the roof on. But there are how many here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Them batteries. 4 or 5. 4 deep cell back batteries. So if we were to get struck by lightning, it would go bada boom, but a very big bada boom, and I don't think there'd be much of us left. But as you can see, the reason I think it's going to rain is I've been watching how excited the terrapins look, and there's been a lot of movement of them and splishing and splashing. Well, now of course they will go absolutely still, and also look at all the aquatic insects almost seem to be gearing up for something. And quite often a lot of the wild animals will sense a change in pressure far before we will, and the coming of the weather. Now, there was that big herd of elephants that we couldn't find this morning that just kept ahead of us. That's one of the reasons I've come here, and it doesn't look like they've come here. I can't see anywhere when elephants been mud wallowing. So they were heading east. So I'm going to do a loop round towards our eastern boundary. I'm not going to leave Djuma today, and I spoke to, or FW and I chatted, and we both agreed it's not a good day to leave Djuma, in case we have to put on our, Peter Solberg hats and race home. I wonder if anyone out there knows who Peter Solberg is. Do you, Vim?
No idea.
No idea. Final Control? Anyone in Final Control know who Peter Solberg is? Or we could also say we could put on our Colin McRae hats. No, Final Control doesn't know. I'm sure a few of you out there, if you know who Peter Solberg or Conor McRae are, send your answers through to #SafariLive or questions@wildearth.tv. And maybe in another life I might have chosen the same profession that they did. Hello, little Nyala. Are you going to get wet tonight? It's so sweet. Lovely long eyelashes. Love the vertical stripes on the Inyala. The Trafalagid family, so Inyala, Kudu, Bushbuck, Sitatunga, Eland, Bongo. Am I missing any? Lesser Kudu, Mountain Inyala are my favorite family of antelopes, and my favorite of favorites, here goes another one, older female. My favorite of favorites is actually the smallest member of the Trafalagid family. My favorite antelope of all antelopes is the bushbuck. Now, both of them have got wonderful Latin names. I know a lot of you have heard me tell the story about how an Inyala got its Latin name before, but I think we might have some new viewers. So if you've heard it before, bear with me. I do apologize. But it is the story about how the first... Let me just go forward a tiny bit so we can see the baby a bit better. Oh no, it's jogging off, but there's a young male, horns starting to show. Now, Inyala are actually introduced to this area, so they're not originally indigenous to this area. They would have been. They're a relatively young antelope species that was formed in what is northern Zululand, and they were busy moving up the coast, and then from there up the main river system. So they had reached places on the Sabi River in Kruger, but they hadn't got as far north as the Sand River yet. I have no doubt they would have eventually. But we just sped on the process a little bit, well, human beings did a long time ago. But so, as I said, they weren't very far spread in those days, and an English or Scottish explorer, tail up, ablution time, set off from what was Port Natal. Now, Port Natal is the modern day city of Durban, and we're going to set off. And he headed north up the coast, and often when it comes to the distributions of animals, natural boundaries are incredible stoppers. Things like rivers, and they do eventually manage to migrate around them, but it can take some time. And so, of being human beings and ingenious, they crossed the mighty Tugela River on a raft, and just north of the Tugela. Now one must remember, in these days, the 1800s, no, it might have even been 1700s, 1800s, probably early 1800s. How you were a naturalist or a collector of those days, how you identified different animals is you shot them and then tried to figure out what they were. So off our brave naturalist went, and he saw this creature and he shot it, and then went to his Zulu staff, who were all from south of the Tugela River, so they didn't live in an area where Nyala occurred, and said, well, what is this, my good fellow? And I'm sure that Zulu banter then just went, Agaz, I don't know. And he obviously thought Angaz was the actual name for the animal, so its scientific name is a Traphalagus angazi, and so it's a spiral horned. Hello. I don't know what was having a elephants have been through here. Okay, now, and as I said, the bushbuck also has a wonderful Latin name, and it's my favorite. Hopefully we can find you one today, and it is a Traphalagus scriptus. Now the scriptus part comes because the Zulu word for a bushbuck is imbabala, the one who has been drawn on. So they have these very dainty little spots that it looks like an artist has very carefully placed on its skin. And that's absolutely fantastic. I love that name, and I love the little bushbuck. It makes me quite torn sometimes, because bushbuck are my favorite antelope, and my favorite animal. The African wild dog eats a lot of them, so sometimes I'm quite torn when the wild dogs course up and down rivers. But there we go. Well done, Steve, Alan and Rock. Indeed, Peter Solberg and Colin McRae are both previous world champion rally drivers. Colin McRae won an incredible amount for Toyota in the 80s, 90s, and Peter Solberg was the next one who took over. I mean, they absolutely dominated the scene, and he drove for Subaru. Okay, this is going to be quite interesting now. Yeah, well, we are way down in the east of Djuma, and I just want to give you a quick view of that storm coming in. Ooh, scary. So there we go, that black mass moving towards us. But if we look carefully, we might see some shards of lightning, but apparently FW is in a better spot to see lightning, so let's go see what he's got.
The storm is approaching fast. We can already smell the rain in the distance. It is amazing how the whole feeling around us just changed. The wind has picked up, and we are with some impala as well. The rest have all moved a bit further into the bush, but there's one youngster still lying up, still resting a bit. But yeah, the temperature's constantly dropping with this wind coming in, and it's really getting very comfortable out here. So Taylor is saying we have to bet on what time it's going to rain. At first I thought maybe around 6 o'clock, but the way the weather has turned in the last 5 minutes, and this thunder coming in maybe in about a half an hour to 40 minutes, so just around 5 o'clock I think we're going to start getting some droplets of rain joining us. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see if it's going to happen. Let's see who's going to be right at the end of the day. Alright. Well, Davi, what do you think? What time we getting there?
5 o'clock on the dot.
5 o'clock on the dot. What we betting on it? I think we'll still work on what the price is going to be. Let's carry on though. Let's see if we can find some animals before that rain sets in. Quite a nice shot with the darkness to our left, and then to the right, how light and white those clouds are still building up. Hold on. There's a European roller just flying right next to us. It's just came off a perch. It caught something and then flew up again. You often find them sitting quite high up in relatively open branches, and that allows them to see things moving around on the ground. And as they pick up on an insect, they fly down and try and grab hold of it. It's going every time we get close. Let's see, there it's gone on that big dead tree. Let's have a look, see if we can see it properly before it disappears. About middle of the tree. Here we go. Right at the bottom of the screen. There we go. Hello, Mr. European Roller. Off it goes. Let's quickly turn around here. Carry on the route that we planned. Alright, folks, while we keep searching for some animals to show you, we're gonna head back over to Taylor and see what she's up to on Flashing Friday.
You're quite right about that. It's not Freaky Friday anymore. It's now Flashing Fridays because of the beautiful show that the sky is putting on for us this afternoon. Now, Brent was telling a wonderful story about how the Inyalas came to be. Now, I haven't got an Inyala for you, but I have got a giant kudu. This is a beautiful big male that passed away somehow, probably taken down by lions and then finished off by hyenas, so providing a nutritious meal to some of our apex predators. Now you can very easily see, as I hold these beautiful, this kudu skull by its horns, why they are in the spiral horned antelope family. You can see, look at these beautiful turns that go all the way up to the little tips over here. Now, Raint was saying, and this is actually new information for me, he's never really told me what his favorite antelope is, and I'm sure he's going to be quite envious because we've managed to find one. Iggy, I don't know, I think we're going to have to go into the tent and look out the back to be very quiet and sneaky. You can watch where you put your feet. Watch my reindeer ears. Look who's come to say hello. That, of course, is Brent's favorite animal, a bushbuck. A beautiful male, of course, and you can see there is a fence behind him, and that's because it's the lodge manager's house. So they have young kids, so they put up a fence so that nothing can come inside. It is also electrified, so that's what you're just looking up there. And it's amazing how all the antelope just come around us, especially in the drier months when there's not much food around. They pop through to eat all our lovely vegetation. Now we're going to go back outside now. I have to duck because my antlers are very long. My goodness, Eggsy, we may get blown away. And I have to tell you about a story about a giraffe. Not Jerry, but a giraffe that came from the Eastern Cape. Now, when I was guiding down there, I unfortunately didn't get to witness it. But a lot of things that people used to ask us was, do giraffe ever hit their heads on power lines? Because as you've seen, occasionally we have to have power lines. Not everywhere has buried them under the ground. We eventually did this down in the Eastern Cape. They completely removed the power lines and with the help of the government actually put it underneath the ground, which was wonderful. And then the second thing is, do animals get struck by lightning? Now they do. And in this case, a giraffe, just like Jerry, a beautiful big male, was actually struck by a bolt of lightning. And that was the end of him, unfortunately. He passed away. I think it would have been a very quick death, so I don't know if he really would have felt too much. But it was incredible. We came around, and like I said, no one got to witness it. And the only thing we could come to the conclusion of is this giraffe was just on the ground and unfortunately no longer living. I'm going to have to keep an eye out for the storm because I don't think it'll be such a good idea for us to keep standing outside. We may have to go and seek some shelter. And speaking of that, Eggsy, I think it's time we put the flaps down over here so we don't use the computer screens. So let me quickly show you. Right, that one's down already. We go over here. We need to unclip these. Unclip this one. And unclip this one. Rightio, and we'll take the zips down. We'll just do this very quickly because I suspect... Ooh, watch your head, Eggsy. I'm really challenging Eggsy today, making him go backwards. Right. The computers are safe now, which is good. That's what we wanted. All the wires are now not going to get wet by the rain, and Eggsy and I won't get blown out the other side of the tent. But it seems as though Evia is on a roll, and he's found the stripiest animal out here in Africa.
Welcome back. Hopefully Taylor doesn't blow away completely, or the tent for that matter. We have found some zebra, busy on the move, feeding into the breeze. Something interesting with that, when they move around and they move into the breeze, they'll always smell predators that are in front of them. And often predators will also move into the breeze when they are looking and hunting, to use that to their advantage, smell prey species ahead of them. And these types of days are very good for lions to hunt. If there's rain and thunder and lightning, that just helps muffling their noise when they move around. Not that they make much, but the little bit of noise that they do make gets covered by the wind and all the other noises coming with the rain. So it is of big assistance to them. So hopefully these zebra will have a safe night. It's interesting how these animals use their resources and use it very well. If you look at that guy, how he was feeding, he wasn't pulling out the grass, roots and all. He's leaving the roots to grow again. So he's taking a couple of blades and leaving the rest of the plant. There he's got a bit of root. But yeah, often animals will kind of keep pastures. I know wildebeest every now and then will keep pastures, keep areas short specifically for their liking in shorter grasses. James, you would like to know if a dominant mare in a harem dies, if the other females would fight for that top position. I'm not aware that there is a dominant system amongst the females in a harem. I always thought it was just the dominant male and his group of females. If there is, though, then I wouldn't be surprised if some of the ladies would want that position and try and work their way and fight their way into it. So possibly, but I can't tell you that 100%. I'll look into that and see if I can find out a bit more, and maybe tomorrow morning get back to you on that answer. Zaz, you would like to know if animals hide when there is a storm. When you've got a quick thunderstorm after a hot day like this, I think animals really appreciate the cooling down and they will just carry on and enjoy it. But if it does carry on for a while, maybe 3 or 4 hours, they will eventually start getting cold. Maybe go into thicker areas, group up in close proximity to one another, and try and stay a bit warmer. But you know what happens with storms? Predators have a tendency of moving around. Like I said earlier with the lions using the noise and stuff to hunt. We do get lucky and find a lot of the predators, leopard and lion, moving around on the roads. They are not the fondest of water, and when moving through the bush, there's an impala that's just joined us. 2, 3, 4. And more coming. They rather utilize the roads and stay away from any water that's on branch or leaves and grass, and just a bit more comfortable not getting everything wet when they're on the roads. So maybe we'll get lucky and see a bit of predator activity. How cute are those baby impala? Lane, you would like to know how many species of antelope are represented in the Djuma area. So let's go through them. We've got duiker, steenbok, impala, bushbuck, nyala, kudu, waterbuck. Who am I missing? So we're already on 7. Where am I going wrong now? The list eludes me this afternoon. But yeah, let's work on that 7 for now. I'll see what else pops up in my head. With the Kruger National Park being so diverse, there are other species of antelope being more specific to some areas. So the entire Kruger National Park would have a lot more species. So further up north we will see eland, we will see sable and rowan antelope, small antelope called a Sharp's grysbok, common reedbuck you'll also find here in some of the more open areas with long grass close to water. Liechtenstein's hartebeest you'd find higher up in the park further north. Folks, we're going to carry on and see what else wants to show themselves to us this afternoon. In the meantime, we're going to head back to Taylor, who is playing with the dam cam.
I've just been watching the dam cam, and I think we're going to switch over to it in just a second. There we are. Haha. Now look at all those little lambs that have started to settle down. And there's a couple of oxpeckers, and it looked like some rollers shooting past the screen. But this is such typical behavior of antelope, is that normally as the storm starts to brew, they normally find a spot to settle down in, very much like cows do. And I'm sure you've all seen this back in the farmlands as you're passing through the various cities, is of course sitting down, keeping their spot nice and warm, nice and dry. However, I think that the antelope are going to appreciate, well, not just the antelope, all the species of animals are going to appreciate, of course, this downpour of rain. Perhaps, maybe not the scorpions and the burrowing creatures. They probably will get a bit annoyed as they're going to have to go out of their burrows so they don't get drowned. But isn't this just amazing? What is that little impala doing at that log? Is it munching on the log? Can you see that? I don't know if it's maybe biting it or chewing it. I don't know what nutrients it would be getting from that dead tree. Oh, look, it is. It's pulling a piece of bark off. Oh, that is so interesting. Nibble, nibble, nibble. I always love the way the impala's noses sort of wriggle when they're chewing on different things. Hello. It is eating a bit of bark. That is amazing. Because that tree has been dead for a long time. So I really can't imagine that it would be too tasty. What's on there? It's just, that's very cheeky. That log has been there for a very long time, Impala. You better not eat all of it. You better save some. It makes a very attractive, I don't know, what would you call that? I lost my trail of thought there. I didn't know what I was going to say. Well, it looks beautiful anyway. Look at it, pulling the big bits of bark off of. Now, these young impala, they do get quite curious. Maybe there's something growing underneath there that we can't see that's just on the other side. But they will munch away at various things, feed on different types of soils sometimes as well if they're lacking certain nutrients. Now, if you're wondering why that camera is waving around like that, it's because the wind is gusting a fair amount now. And the storm is moving around us at the moment. However, I'm watching Brent and I can see he's starting to put his rain covers on. And I'm wondering, I think we may have been a bit too excited and pushed that rain. No, actually, no, Eggsy, I'm happy with saying that the rain is going to come at, did I say 5:45? I did say 5:45. I think in an hour or so. I reckon we've still got a bit of time. Eggsy, what is your prediction?
Part with Taylor and Matette.
You see, Eggsy's my real teammate here. He says he's sticking with my guns because I'm an expert. He obviously just didn't say that. I just added the expert part onto it. I'm really enjoying watching this young impala, though. It's extremely fascinating. So, Mark, you say that perhaps this impala is bored? Maybe. So yesterday, I don't know if you remember watching, and it was quite funny. We had a lovely comment from one of the schools, and they were saying, what do the antelope or the animals in general do when they get bored? And I made a little joke and said they enjoy skydiving and rock climbing. Well, if you were a clip springer, you'd probably enjoy rock climbing. But it seems as though that little impala now is not interested in the fallen log and is done eating all the bark that it can eat. It looks like it's taken a piece with it, though, still chewing away with its mouth open, and has joined the rest of the young lambs sitting down. They all seem to be sitting down now. One has even gone to sleep. You see the one's got its head tucked underneath its legs. This is so beautiful. It's a lovely scene. Now, speaking about the different things that impala eat, P. Hart was wondering, do they eat grubs? I've never seen an impala eat grubs before. They eat a variety of different types of vegetation as well as fruit. So I don't think there's any need for them to munch on a little worm or a grub, because they get all the protein they need from the vegetation that they're feeding on. Remember, impala, and it's one of the reasons why impala are one of the most successful species of antelope in Africa, is because they're not just limited to one food source. They can feed on a variety of different types of food, which helps them out. You'll even see them munching on the marulas when they become ripe. That's always one of my favorite things. And I saw it down in the southern sand where there was a big elephant bull, and he had pushed his head up onto one of those massive marulas that was filled with fruit and started to shake the tree. And as he was picking up a couple of bits of fruit that had obviously fallen off the tree, there was one or two impala that separated from the herd and started nibbling on a couple of bits of fruit that were on the ground as well. And I thought that was just so special. But like I said, we just watched impala eat some bark and genuinely ate it. It was chewing away, it swallowed, it even took a piece back to where it's sitting. Now, Lindsay, you've said that this is exactly like what you saw with Jamie one afternoon when there was a baby impala licking a tree. You're quite right. So I can only imagine that there was some type of mineral inside on the wood somewhere along there that was obviously quite appetizing to that young impala lamb. And that's what I said. Animals will do that if they're lacking, of course, some kind of nutrient, and they need to get it from maybe something other than a plant. They will. You'll often see them licking a termite mound. You see rhinoceros and elephants actually licking termite mounds every now and then, especially the baby elephants. They're really funny when they do that. And that's, of course, just to get maybe some calcium, maybe some sodium. Maybe there's just something that the vegetation is just unfortunately not bringing to them anymore. Now, we're going to go quickly outside because you were all concerned about my flashing Friday my flashing Friday sort of name for the day, but don't worry, I know that this is a children's show, of course, so don't worry. The only flashing that you're going to be seeing this afternoon is that of the lightning. So I had to come and fix this because my OCD was kicking in. You just sit there very nice. I need to make the rope a little bit tighter. Now, I caught a fly a little bit earlier. Now, I was so impressed. I don't know how I caught it. I don't know if the fly was having a nap or something, but I managed to grab it and put it into a container, and it was a fruit fly. It was a really nice one to have a look at, but it flew away, and now it's gone because I opened up the container, and for a moment I forgot that flies could fly, and well, it made its escape and didn't even look back. So that's a pity because I wanted to show you one of them under the microscope. But let's have a little bit. Come have a look here. Now, I don't know if James has showed you. I'll just very quickly show you. But we've got this beautiful exhibit of a variety of different insects. And you can go down to the diptera and you can see the different types of flies. You've got the small-headed flies over there. They're funny-looking things. And I don't see. It doesn't look like they've actually got that one, the one with the big wings. But it doesn't look like they've got any houseflies here, unfortunately, so we'll have to capture one. Maybe we find one that's unfortunately died. They don't live for very long, and we'll add it to our collection. But Brent's got something else that's got wings.
Well, it just started raining, and before the rain came, there was a huge amount of different species of butterflies. Unfortunately, they've all disappeared, but we do have a wasp feeding on. There we go. Looks like one of the spider hunting wasps. Oh no, actually not. With that body shape. A hornet, possibly. Yes, a hornet. One of the hornet family. Which one, I'm not sure. Quite a pretty one. Off he goes. At the moment, I'm embracing the rain. Not putting on rain jackets. It's quite nice, quite cooling. I'm of course keeping a very sharp eye on the lightning, so rain doesn't bother me so much, but I don't want to be fried. Now, Taylor was telling you a story. Ooh. Lots. Am I too close for him? Oh, which one? Yes, exciting. And I forgot my butterfly checklist today. Let's go for the brown veined white first. Is there? Yes, there. Oh, there he goes. One of our most common butterflies. There we go. A brown vein white. And guys, please remember to write these down and remind me to check them off on the checklist tomorrow. Well, African monarch as well. And we haven't even done that on the checklist yet. Beautiful butterfly. Oh, flappy, flappy, flap. Well, there's some broad-banded grass yellows, but we've seen those. Plenty of them. And they're also the yellow ones fluttering about. It's a little butterfly hotspot. It is one of my favorite spots to look for butterflies. Now, these butterflies, some of them are already heading exactly for the tree cover to get a bit of protection from the rain that's starting to fall. Look at that, hide in the thickets. Some of the little yellows have gone right into almost, there we go, they're going right into a little vegetation cave to hide from the rain. But Vim, we won. We won the rain bet. It's going to rain when it rains. Now, Taylor was talking about a giraffe being struck by lightning. Strangely enough, I know of another wild animal that's been struck by lightning. I actually saw it in Zambia, in a place called the Busanga Plains. A single buffalo bull in this massive open area was fried buffalo bull. Fried or roasted? What do you think, Vim? Fried. Microwaved, yes. No, but it was crispy. You can't get crispy in a microwave. Fried or roasted buffalo? Not sure. P. Hart is wondering, is there any folklore about lightning in Africa? Oh, there is, but my brain is not working. There is African folklore about lightning. Give me a second. Give me a little bit to try rack my brain. Oh no, I can't remember. There's a couple of good Bushman stories about lightning, but they're just flitting around in my head at the moment, and I don't want to confuse them. It's about an elephant and the rain god, or was it the moon he had that argument with? See, I'm gonna have to double check on that one. I'll just have a quick look around Twin Dams. You never know if little Shongile or Hosana are somewhere about here causing nonsense. But I have some sad news. Our Hadidar chicks have fledged and disappeared. So they have grown up and left the nest already. Or did Shongile eat them? I don't think we'll ever know. But I didn't find lots of Hadidar feathers in the river below, so I think the last time I saw them, they were almost ready to depart home. So I think they've fledged and gone. Okay, I always check very carefully around here. Those little leopards could be lying just there and you could miss them if you're not paying attention. Oh, we got a lot of big drops. They seem to have eased up slightly. I had a chat with Ephraim while I was off air, and he spoke to his uncle who is in Bushbuck Ridge, and he said it was pouring there, but often if Bushbuck Ridge is getting the rain, it often just misses us. It moves north. Now, no signs of Hosana and Shongile. That's a pity. I was hoping there might be about. Sorry, Alan, can you go again? The shortcut to where? Copy, thanks very much. Sorry about that. I heard an update on an animal, and then Rebecca started talking to me and I couldn't hear, but it is one of the Birmingham boys, but unfortunately it is out of our Travis. But Hossan was wondering what happens when it rains. Does driving become difficult on these roads? No, not particularly. Sandy roads are fine in the rain. It's areas of clay that can become a little bit tricky, but fortunately we've got wonderful off-roading vehicles, and we can normally handle most of the off-roading without too much of a problem at all. It's amazing. I absolutely drenched this when I left camp, and it's nearly dry already, even though we've been sprinkled on by the rain. So it was a very short little burst of rain. Marvin says that 102 degrees in New Jersey is called a heat wave. Well, Marvin, in Africa we just call it summer. Now, I still haven't seen any tracks of that big herd of ellies leaving the property, so I'm definitely going to keep looking for them. Oh, biting flies. Need to wear from my nose. Well, we're going to continue to look for the elephants. Let's go to the not-so-twinkle-toes Taylor, who's apparently sitting pretty in the tent.
The not-so-twinkle-toes Taylor. Right. Now, speaking about lightning, the only folklore I can really remember about lightning is about a plant, and it's not actually even a folklore. I'm going to show you a photo because I do not have one to show you. Have a look on the screen. Now, this should look very, very familiar to most of you, and it is baboon's tail. You can see that. This is obviously one that doesn't have any flowers. We'll open this one. Here we go. You can see lots and lots of the beautiful purple flowers that they do get, which we've already seen this year. Now, the locals believe in this area that if you plant the baboon's tail near and around your house, it's sort of a charm against lightning. So technically, if you have that plant growing around your house, it will stop the lightning from striking anything around you. But that's really all I know. Right, we can close that. Now, I had something else to show you. Seeing as though Brent is on a roll with the butterflies like he normally is, I found a little wing outside. Easy, I don't even know. There we go. Look at that. And we're going to play a little game here. Whose wing, or which butterfly species does this wing belong to? I suspect something has maybe eaten it, or maybe it just died. Maybe it was in the tent and it got blown outside. So you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter with your answers, or you can send them through to questions@wildearth.tv. Right, what else have we got? Is our friend the bushbuck? He's gone. Everything's made a run for it. Now, I'm very confused. Brent has put his rain covers on. Evie has come back to put his roof on. But yet, we still don't have any rain. I mean, look at this. Oh, actually, Eggsy, have a look at that magnificent cloud that is forming. How beautiful is that? Isn't that just absolutely incredible? Ooh, now that's a tricky question. So Aaron is actually just asking where, in my opinion, is the best place to watch a thunderstorm. I've seen some spectacular ones here. However, my favorite thunderstorm of absolutely all time, I've got lots of thunderstorm stories of getting stuck out in the rain, was actually the first rains that we experienced in the Lower Zambezi National Park for the season. That was incredible and so impressive. So we were just sitting at the lodge. We could hear the rumblings of thunder. The humidity had reached over 100%. The ground was hot. It couldn't get any hotter. All the black cotton soil had heated up to its absolute max. And well, it took about a day. Thunder started rumbling like this, big cumulonimbus clouds starting to form. And then the next afternoon, the sky went black, completely black. And bah! First clash of thunder. And I knew, ooh, this is a lot more serious than the little rumbles that were happening yesterday afternoon. And of course then, the clouds came over. The cumulonimbus clouds, you couldn't even see them anymore. Like I said, the sky was black. It was dark. It was afternoon. We had to turn all the lights on. And eventually, the sky opened and it poured with rain, and the lightning was just amazing. I don't even know how to describe it. I don't even have a photo. It was just so amazing to watch everything. It started, sort of pitter-pattering down, and then it got to that torrential downpour. And, well, I'm not the biggest fan of thunder, as most of you know. I'm not scared of it anymore, just in case you're wondering. I'm getting very, very brave, seeing as though we hear the thunder all the time over here. And I think if I'd grown up in Johannesburg, I probably would be well accustomed to the thunder, because in summer, every afternoon, they have a big thunderstorm, at least once a day. So I think my best thing was big open plains, river in the back, as the backdrop. That was amazing. And then you could turn around like this, and then you'd have big open plains, and then the escarpment as a backdrop, so you could choose which side you wanted. Sometimes I would just do this, just to know which way to look. It was so beautiful. And then, of course, you'd have zebra and all sorts of types of animals out in the open. The elephants would often go under the big anna trees just to seek a bit of shelter. Those forests were incredible. But yeah, Zambia has to be my favorite, though. Like I said, I saw some spectacular ones here, and I saw some amazing ones in the Eastern Cape. Now, where I was working in the Eastern Cape, so the southeast coast of South Africa, it's very mountainous, but not really massive mountains, just big hills. So you'd get up to an opening, and because a lot of those areas, they used to farm pineapples, they have these massive open plains that shouldn't naturally occur there, because it's the Albany thicket biome. Very, very thick, small evergreen shrubs, super, super dense. And actually, if you look behind you, you see the shrub here, Eggsy? This is actually what the Eastern Cape looks like, but lots of it just everywhere. Like, you can't even go 2 or 3 meters into the brush. You just sort of hit the wall of trees and a wall of thorns. And there, I had a favorite spot. I'm trying to think. I don't think it really had a name. I don't know. No, it didn't have a name. It was sort of an old 2-track that went up a mountain. You went steep. You almost went up like this. And I might find a photo for you to show. But you looked over this massive wetland. So it was sort of marshy, big salt pan type thing. And it was beautiful. And if you got yourself up there and watched a storm coming in off the ocean, that was just absolutely incredible as well. That was also one of my favorite things to do. But it depends. You don't want to get caught out in a thunderstorm, though, so you quickly watch it coming in from a distance, and you race back down, find some shelter, or get right down into the valleys where there's plenty of trees. You're down on the river. It seems as though I, unfortunately, haven't really won the rain bet today, because it's raining everywhere else except us. It might still rain here. Rebecca kindly reminded me of that in my ear. But let's go back across into Brent's vehicle, where it's also not raining.
No, see, Taylor, you can't change the rules. The rules, well, it rained. It doesn't matter which of the feeds experienced the rain. One of us experienced enough rain to put on rain covers. I think that counts as rain. Now, sidetracked by something, but what turned out to be a log. I got very excited in my head there for a second. I thought it was a leopard. And this is a good area to always look for Karula. But she hasn't been around too much. We've been seeing quite a bit of Hosana and Shungile, but not so much of her. It's a baby pig. There's a little baby sausage. Hello, Mum. And little boy. Munch, 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 munch. Hello, Mommy. Tiny little baby. Now this mother had 3 little sausages when I first saw them, and they were the first sausages that we saw this year, and they were tiny. Now I wonder if she's lost more than 1 or even 2. Leopards do love baby warthogs. They're like cocktail snacks. No, she's done all well. Or maybe oh no, don't run, little guys. There's 4 of them. So maybe I only saw 3 last time, but there are 4 little ones, and there's 2 little boys. Look at that jump! Oh, look at him go! Oh my goodness, that was too amazing. That little warthog leapt into the air. Hello, little piggies. And little baby warthog can be very, very playful. We're going to go slowly and try to keep up with them. Wasn't that spectacular? There they are, keeping up with Mom. Little sausages. Now also, even with baby warthogs, there is quite a high mortality rate. Probably 50% of them don't normally make it to adulthood. Now it's not, of course, not only leopards that eat leopards and lions and hyenas and cheetah and the obvious ones that eat them, but being that small, they can easily be carried away by certain eagle species. And I have also heard of pythons predating on baby warthogs. Hungry little fellas. Now at this age they'll both be suckling and eating solid, so most of your herbivores will start feeding on grass or leaves or whatnot very, very soon after birth, but they are still reliant on mom's milk at the moment. And with 4 little babies, it must be quite the battle to get a good suckling position. Now you can see how white the fur is on the side of their feet, side of their face. And there's a very important reason for that. So that white hair becomes less visible as they get older, but when they're young it's very apparent, and it's a fake tusk to make them look possibly a little bit scary, because baby warthogs don't look scary at all. Let's go. Let's go see. Now, don't run away, little ones. Now, remember, this is 100% live and interactive, so you can ask us questions by using the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can send us an email to questions@wildearth.tv. Okay, the little sausages are out in the open. I'm just going to go a little bit further. Hi, Stu. Now, Stu would like to know, does the male warthog stay with his children? Like most males out here, Stu, unfortunately, he doesn't. And what happens is, warthogs have a very interesting sort of breeding cycle. Not cycle is the wrong word. Breeding strategy. So male warthogs will either defend an area that's got quite a few females in it, or they will defend a resource. So a particular good grazing area or mud wallow or water hole, and they'll defend that from other warthogs. But other than that, they only really chase other males out. Other than that, they have nothing to do with the raising of the young. I do love baby warthogs. I still can't get over that little jump earlier. They are very, very cute. Now, see, I've taken my time to get closer to them, and that has made them more relaxed and mom relaxed. So quite often, if you rush getting too close, especially with young animals, they dash away at a rate of knots. But now they're actually moving and feeding towards us. I mean, they're still a little bit nervous, so they don't know anything about cars yet. Mom's quite chilled, so they're taking their cues from her. Hey, you. Now, Bethany would like to know, do the baby warthogs suckle when lying down like baby pigs? They do exactly that, Bethany. Let's see if we can get... I don't want to give them a fright, so I'm going to let the car run for a little bit before I move. Because they are instinctively incredibly jumpy at this age, especially since everything eats them. Look at them. See, they are a little bit jumpy. Look at those little tails pop up. Mom's still relaxed, but they are not so trusting just yet, which is an instinctive response to a lot of young animals, because it is tough out here and you don't want to be eaten. Yeah, you see Mom is very relaxed. You can actually hear her chewing. Come, little guys, you can relax now. We're not Tingana. We don't want to have you for dinner. And you can see those white whiskers I was talking about. Come on, do another jump. That jump was impressive. Can you hear the thunder up above? Well, we should tell Taylor, if baby warthogs aren't scared of thunder, she shouldn't be either. Super alert little fellas. Not quite trusting of us. Yum, 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 yum. What are you eating? Was that good? Paul, you're spot on indeed. On the little males, you can see the lower sets of warts already forming there. On the females, you can see it on the top as well. But the little males, those warts are already quite prominent, the lower set of warts. There we go. Nom, 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 nom. Holly is wondering how long it takes a baby warthog to grow their tusks. Their tusks should start showing at just over a year old, Holly. There's Mom. Mom's doing a good job so far. Now, it's not the tusks that you see that do the damage when they're being attacked or when they're to defend themselves. It's the bottom tusks, the bottom tushes, that rub up against that top tusk and become incredibly sharp, like a razor blade. And that's the tusk that inflicts can inflict massive damage to lion and leopard. Oh, here comes the next bout of rain, Wim. Few little drops. Oh, look at him! Panic at the disco. He was almost going so fast. He was going too fast that the sand sort of sped, and he couldn't get going, couldn't get purchase. As you see now, just taking a little bit of time, they're actually coming closer to us. Good job, Mum. Now, John is wondering, how does the mother protect the young? Well, John, she can bite quite viciously, and I've seen warthogs chase off leopard, wild dog, hyena, and I've seen them do some serious damage to a lion, but unfortunately they didn't win. Now, with this really strong wind as it gets darker, you might find, there we go, look at the babies already huddling together. They'll instinctively know that this is dangerous weather for them. And it's going to get darker a little bit earlier, so you might find Mom might go home to her hole a bit earlier tonight. Don't leave me, Mom. And it almost looks like as the wind started blowing, so as the wind started, you almost saw she made a decision, oh, now it's more dangerous, time to go home, time to get under. And speaking of getting under, if he hasn't got quite underground, but he is under something.
Strong wind just blew these rain covers around a bit. We quickly shot back to camp and put on a roof just to help us protect everything from the rain. After that, there's been a call on the radio of a possibility of leopard moving into our area, so we just want to get to that area and see if we get lucky. It sounds, if I understood the guys correctly, it is Karula and her cubs that are moving north back into our direction. So just taking a chance and seeing what's happening around. Aaron, earlier you were asking where in Africa the best place is to view a thunderstorm. In my opinion, it's the Highveld of South Africa. Around Joburg, if you can get into the countryside around Johannesburg, there are some beautiful grasslands and you get exceptional thunderstorms out there, very pretty electrical storms. So yeah, from my point of view, that is definitely the best spot to be if you want to see some action with thunderstorms. The Leopards isn't bad either. You get beautiful storms rolling into the Leopards every now and then. Let's see if any of those spotted cats want to show themselves. Folks, while we keep scratching around, we're gonna head back over to Taylor and see what's happening with the tent and if she's still around, if the wind hasn't taken her.
We're still here for the moment, but it has started to gust right now. Very windy. Now, did you hear that? The thunder's here. I know Brent said that I need not to be scared if the little warthog piglets are not scared, but it sounds as though it's now really going to come above us. We had 2 drops of rain at 5 minutes past 5, so I don't think that quite counts. I've got a little bit of time to go before it rains here, because it hasn't really downpoured anywhere, and I think we may be the first to get it. Now, I want to go and have a look and see if there's anything at the dam cam. Yes, there is. Right, 1, 2, 3. We're on the dam cam. That worked amazingly. Yay! Well done, Rebecca. Such good teamwork. Now, I love guinea fowl. I think they're one of the most hysterical birds out there. They are extremely comical, especially when they're in the big groups running around, of course. But now, like I said the other day, it seems as though they've moved away from being in the big flocks and they've just separated into pairs. And that's probably because this is a mating pair. So maybe they have a nest somewhere nearby. And well, hopefully in maybe the next month or so, we're going to start to see little guinea fowl chicks. Won't that be cute? They'll be just as cute as, of course, the little sausages that Brent calls the warthogs. But they're moving along, carrying on with their afternoon, feeding on all the grass seeds, of course. And well, isn't it a great time for them because of all the lovely lush grass that has just popped up over the last couple of weeks. Now, Rebecca has asked me, what is the call of a guinea fowl? I don't know. I can't do the call of a guinea fowl, sadly. It is not my strong point. Maybe Evia. I think, Evia has not done enough bird calls. So I think next time we go to him, we're going to have to ask him to do the call, the alarm call of course, a guinea fowl. Off they go. Now, like Brent said, he says he thinks that those little warthog piggies are probably going to disappear into their burrows a little bit earlier. And I'm going to tell you a story about the little warthogs in just a moment. But before we even get there, I had a quiz for you. And, I asked, what wing does this belong to? And, of course, it's one of the butterflies, but I've forgotten everybody. Let me just I need 2 seconds. Right, so James and Raisa and Aileen, you've said it's a brown-veined white. Now, unfortunately, very close, but not quite right. It looks very, very similar to a brown veined white. However, it's very dark. It's more black than anything, and I suspect this is from a common dotted border, but they look almost identical. It's very, very difficult to tell the difference between the two. But just from the coloration that I can see on this wing, I've ripped it. It's now gone. I suspect that it's most likely from a common dotted border. Now, I have a quiz for you, and I've actually started this at the beginning. So we're going to see who has been paying attention since the beginning of the show. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the reindeer antlers have been all over the tent. I want to know from you, and we're going to continue, and you have to give me your answers by 6 o'clock, because that's when we are sadly going to say goodbye to you. Well, just us in the tent, of course. So I want to know, how many different skulls have I put the antlers on this afternoon? So starting from the beginning of the show, so keep an eye out. They're going to be popping up all over the tent, and you can send those answers through. Obviously, keep a notepad, maybe just keep notes and writing them down, because we'll stop. I think we'll put it on the last skull at about 10 to. So our time out, I don't know what the time is where you are now. I know it's probably about 7 hours behind us or so. It's probably about 10 o'clock or something like that in the morning, maybe now. So anyway, we'll do it Central African time, and we'll do it 10 to 6. That'll be the last time we put the antlers on anything. So hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or questions@wildearth.tv. Now, it's getting hot in the tent. I have a story to tell you. However, I think we better do it outside, because you can hear all the turtle doves calling at the moment. Isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely lovely. Now, the story that I have to tell you is about the warthogs. Now, I don't know if you've heard the story, because I know Brent loves to tell stories, and well, he's been probably telling a lot of stories for many, many, many years now. And the story that I have to you is actually about a warthog and its burrow. So there was once upon a time, there was this beautiful big warthog with the most impressive tusks, and he found an old aardvark burrow, and he widened it a little bit, probably dug a bit, pushed the sand out with his snout, and he thought it was the best burrow he's ever seen in his entire life. Basically, it was like a palace, and as you know, warthogs reverse into their burrow. So one day, got a bit suspicious and poked his head out his burrow, looked around again, and then spotted a lion stalking, coming straight towards its burrow. So the warthog had to act very quickly, and all of a sudden it stood up in its burrow, raised its back to the roof, and shouted to the lion, "Help, lion, help! My roof is caving in. Please help me. Don't come near me. You might get squashed." And the lion shouted, "Ha, ha, 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 ha. You don't fool me, warthog." Remember the sly old jackal? This is not the first time that I've been fooled by a creature like you. And of course now the warthog is trembling with fear, thinking that the lion is going to come up to it and of course eat it. But luckily for the warthog, the lion wasn't very hungry that afternoon. So the lion said to the warthog, "Warthog, I'm not very hungry today. You are lucky, and I'm impressed with your sly jokes. And I've heard it before, but if it was the first time that I'd heard it, you probably would have got me. So I'm going to let you go this time, but you better stay down on your knees all the time." And that is the reason why we see the warthog to this day crawling around on its knees with its bum up facing the sky, and of course its snout snuffling around the ground, looking for some grass roots to feed on. We're gonna head across now. Oh my goodness, that's interesting. I can't see what's going on, but Rebecca has of course whispered with her very soft and calming voice that apparently Evia has found something sleeping in a tree.
We have had exceptional luck, and the rumors were true. Karula and her 2 cubs are back on Juma. There is the lovely mother. You can see she's panting quite heavily. And I think they have made a kill. Rusana is just in front of the vehicle. And to the left behind him, let's look at him first. He was nibbling on something a little while ago. But to the left of him, a bit further into the bush, I don't know if we're going to see it for the moment. It's hidden behind that thick tree. There it looks like a carcass. We'll go forward a bit shortly and see what it is. So this is exceptional luck we've been having. Darby and I have made a very good team over the last couple of game drives and had real luck when it comes to the cats. So it's been very good. Well, let's move forward and see if we can see what they have caught. There we go. It's just under that fallen tree there.
There we are.
Further to the right. More, a little bit more. There we go. See that red spot there? It looks like a bushbuck. While we try and figure out what is happening here, we're going to head over to Brent with another cat in a tree.
Naughty Karula eating my favorite animal. But look, in the tree. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman? No, it's Thandi. And unfortunately, there's just a branch in the way of her. Oh, there we go. Well, thank you, Thandi. She's also looking quite full. I can't see a kill in her tree, though. Now, we're not that far from where Karula and the cubs are, probably only a kilometre and a half or so. But we are on the Gowrie Main, so we're actually between our two traverses, between Cheetah Plains and Djuma. But we can see her from the road. And she's looking quite comfortable up in the tree with the temperature cooling, and doesn't look to be worrying about the thunder and lightning around her at all. Hi, Donovan. Donovan is 8 years old, and Donovan would like to know how many cat species occur in the Sabi Sand. Well, there's leopards, lots of leopards. There's lions. There's cheetah. There's caracal, serval, African wildcat. So 6. Am I forgetting anyone? I don't think so. Stunning. Now, even with her full belly, if she happens to spy some impala, she might have a go. Oh. Oh, just look at her sleeping on her paw. Now, Aaron has asked a very interesting question. I know the other presenters have spoken on it, but where's the best place in Africa to watch thunderstorms? Now, I don't think there's one good place. I think there are many good places. I think some of the most spectacular storms I've seen up in the mountains in South Africa, in the Drakensberg, also the Great Rift Valley, the Masai Mara, Serengeti, storm rolling across the plains, Gabon, watching a massive thunderstorm come across the ocean towards the massive trees. So I would say there's just too many good places, Aaron. Oh, flashes of lightning in the background. Now, I know she was seen with the cub around this area earlier today. Now, it's been so hot today, you probably find that's why she's up in the tree, and there's slightly more of a breeze, and also a chance to get away from some of the biting flies. Now, Tony's wondering, would a leopard come down from the tree during thunder and lightning? Well, most of the time, most definitely, unless there was a lion underneath them, then they would stay up. She does look like she's very well fed, our Thandi. Now, for those of you who don't know, we saw Karula and Hosanna and Shongile with Efe. Now, this is Karula's oldest daughter. So, she was part of the first litter Karula ever had, and she is Shadow's sister. And she holds territory to the south and east of Karula's territory. And Shadow is to the west of Karula's territory. Hi, Andrew. Welcome back. They told her no. Murwati, Twin Dams. I think between Mamba and Windamatwan and Nyama.
Is it in
nice spot to walk on.
I don't know.
Okay, thanks.
I didn't know. Otherwise, I would be there, not here. But now, while we sit with this very stationary cat in a tree, it sounds like the royal family is on the move.
Let me just go forward here a bit and I get a beautiful view of Osana. He has moved away from the kill a little bit and Shongile has moved towards the kill. Shall I go forward a bit more? Yeah, let's get that bush away from his face. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, he walked away from the kill and then quickly past Mum, just rubbing heads, saying hello, and now on his own, lying up, resting a bit. You can see he's quite full compared to when we've seen him previously. Mum is also on the move, heading towards the kill. There we go, there is little Shongile. Mum is just behind a fallen tree at the moment, so I can't see her. But she should join up with Shongile shortly. It's lovely to see leopards together like this. You get so used to seeing them on their own, especially when females don't have cubs with them or the cubs are all grown up and moved off. One of my favorite sightings of more than one leopard was two females trying to mate with the same male, and how these ladies were trying to impress the male. We had them walking probably 3 or 4 kilometers just following the male around and running in front of each other, running, trying to catch up to him. He wasn't having any of that, but yeah, eventually I think the one ended up mating with him and the other one moved on, tried to find a new mate or waited her turn. But just the amount of effort put in to impress that male was quite entertaining. You can see there's some flies that are bothering her every now and then. Mum has gone flat cat again. You can just see her back legs and tail sticking out under this fallen tree. Just there, you can zoom in a bit. I think she's to the right of screen. We're not gonna see. I think because I'm a bit lower, I've got visual of her, but with the camera we're gonna struggle. So Brent is calling these leopards the royal family. I wonder what's the story there. Maybe you can tell me a bit more about their history and how that came about. Kathy in Tennessee. You would like to know how many daughters Karula has given birth to. It is 4 daughters that she has had. So the 4 daughters are Thandi, Shadow, Shavumzi, if I'm saying that correct, and Shongile. And Annette, you would like to know if Karula found Thandi, would they fight? I do not think so. Most likely Karula gave Thandi a bit of her territory. Maybe Karula expanded hers. I don't know exactly what had happened, but I don't think they will fight. She might protect the cubs from her, but I don't think they'll go into a full-on fight. If it was an unrelated female, it might have been a different story, but because, hello, just look at the power of that young creature. Being able to lift a bushbuck like that. It's not maybe a half a bushbuck, but still, for a 10-month-old leopard to do that is quite impressive. Yeah, we've just got the roof in shot. Let me just move the vehicle a little bit. Yep. All good?
Yep.
There we go, much better. She's gone and taken this kill into a much thicker area, so we might get a bit of trouble getting that good shot, but it's still amazing to be with them and see what they get up to. Maybe on the move again. Let's see, maybe she wants to get it a bit higher, get it out of the reach of predators. I think she's going to have to find a better tree though. This one's been pushed over by elephants long ago. Maybe she's just playing. At the base of the tree, we can just below the below the fallen log, there's a bit of a gap. We can go to the left a bit more. There we go. We've got Karula's tail and back feet. It's visible now. Just gonna reposition again. Folks, while we get ourselves in a better position, we're gonna head over to Taylor and see what she's busy with.
Now, I don't know if you've been watching the dam cam, but we're very quickly going to go back across to it to have another look at what is going on with the little lambs. Now, it seems as though at one point it was really... Oh, no, now they're racing around. But just a moment ago, they were all gathered around that log and they were munching on it. And it seems like the 2 females on the right are going to have a bit of a game and push each other around. Come on, here we go. Look at them. All the little ones running around. I love it when the wind picks up. It almost makes the animals a little bit silly. But you can also see one of the lodges just on the right-hand corner, in case you were wondering what that was. But isn't this amazing how they all start to push each other around like this? Not that those two adults really need to worry about fighting, because it's the boys that do the fighting. Here's a little one coming in to join. What are you guys doing? I want to play too. Aren't they absolutely adorable? Oh, look at all the dust that they're kicking up as well. Yeah, lots of fun and games this afternoon. And they've obviously realized that the rain is not coming like it was initially threatening to. So they've all stood up again. Some of them are munching away. And then, of course, they're now chasing each other around. You guys have got lots and lots of energy today, don't you? And off they go around. Now, there's something else that I want to show you, but you're going to have to come back across to me very quickly. Now, remember I was talking about the guinea fowls and the guinea fowl chicks. I saw that some of you have never ever seen a guinea fowl chick. Have a look at this picture I pulled up on the internet. Aren't they cute? There's lovely dark markings and, of course, the orange and yellow tinges that they have on their bodies to help camouflage them when they're young. But remember, the chances of the survival of a young guinea fowl it's quite tough. It's very much like the survival of the Franklin or the spurfowl chicks or even an Egyptian goose's goslings. So they're preyed upon by snakes, they're preyed upon by eagles and all sorts of goodies. Even the smaller cats like maybe Shongila or Hosana, they would find that, or even Thandi's cub, they would of course find that very appetizing. Now, remember, we are playing a game, so I hope you are all taking note as to what is going on around the tent. The antler, that's not a word. Antler is not a word. Antler game, of course. And yes, I hope you've noted them down because we've only got 10 minutes to go before we're going to call in the final answers. So remember to send in your answers. What animals or how many skulls have we put, of course, the reindeer antlers on? Hashtag Safari Live for Twitter or questions at wildearth.tv. Now, I know Evia had 3 cats, but we're not going to go back to those ones. We're going to go and have a look at Thandi, who's copying my pose.
Well, Thandi has barely moved a muscle. She's looking very comfortable in the bowels of this marula tree. Fast asleep. Till she heard an impala. I heard the impala too, Thandi. Might she come down? I can't see the impala, but I heard them. Oh, look at that fat belly. Would she come down? I think the impala would almost have to stumble onto her. She's looking quite intently to the southwest. Her ears picked up. I don't think she can see them. I think she just heard them. Same as me. Oh, maybe she can see them. Hello, Janet. Janet's wondering what is the name of Thandi's cub. Janet, it's too young to have a name just yet. So there is no name for Thandi's cub. And she's still not as interested as when she initially woke up on hearing those impala. I think she might have a snooze again. I don't know if you guys, can you hear that cuckoo in the background? There's an African cuckoo calling. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Maybe it's just me who's a bit cuckoo. Hello, Sabrina, who's 13 years old, and Sabrina's wondering, would Thandi's cub be able to eat with Karula's cubs? Most certainly not. Unfortunately, they would not be friends. And I don't think Karula or Thandi, vice versa, would let, even though they're mother and daughter, would stand for them in each other's territories unless they were mating. Now, Thandi's cub was seen this morning somewhere very close to here, so it could be sleeping in another tree, or it could be sleeping on the ground. We just can't see it from where we are. Now, looks like the rain is going to miss us. Apart from those few little drops we had, I think we're probably going to have a full sunset safari. Some big marula trees up on this crest. And thankfully it is a crest, because if she had probably been 50 meters further to the east of us, we would be in the Moanini River, where we don't get signal. Now she's looking to the east. What is that there? Those warthogs in the distance. No, they're little bushes. I thought I saw some little warthogs. I think she might come down the tree. What do you think, Vim? 50-50.
Very fat to me.
And she does look very fat. And it is quite nice and cool up there with the wind blowing. But you never know. Okay, it sounds like Efe's in a tricky patch for Wendy in terms of signal in the Moati. He's trying to reposition at the moment, and we'll sit with Thandi till he gets into a spot where you'll be able to see the royal family again. And if worse comes to worse, we can always swap leopards, because I think Wendy's got signal here, and Rusty seems to have better signal in the Moati River. What has she spotted? Ah, is that an impala? What is she looking at? What is she looking at back there? I thought I saw something moving in the distance. I found way down there. On down. I wonder what is there. Well, obviously she's got an advantage over us in that nice high perch. She'll be able to see anything. Or maybe she's just looking to where the cub is. And I saw that little bit of movement, and I was hoping that we might have a little cub coming to join her. Wouldn't that be spectacular? Well, no, she hasn't been contact calling. Very, very interesting. What do you think's down there? Is it the cub or something to eat, Vim?
Hopefully both.
Hopefully both. Yes, Vim, the eternal optimist when it comes to big cats. I'm still so fascinated to how this is going to play out. I'm not sure whether the Thandi's cub's male or female. I saw two. Last time I saw them, there were still two of them. There's only one now. And it's going to be so... I always find that so fascinating when the female leopards do become independent of their mothers and how they set up the new territories. So we could see two little leopard cubs setting up new territories. If Thandi's cub is, of course, a female, I'm not 100% sure. Sorry? in the bottom of the drainage. Can you see them from the road? Ah, so Shanae is also here, and she's just told me that the two sticks. Sorry? Okay, so Vim, can you see that car through the bush over there? Behind us.
Right behind the antenna.
And there's a lion sighting there, the sticks, females and cubs. That could be what Thandi is staring at so intently back there. Let me just move the vehicle a little bit, Vim. I want to see if we can see those lions. Okay, while we reposition slightly and try see if we can get a view of the line, let's cross to Taylor, see something about a quiz deadline. Oh dear, that sounds quite serious.
Now, how incredible is this? I'm actually very impressed that there were a couple of you that managed to get all the answers right, but we'll go through the skull. So the first skull we had the antlers on was, of course, Jerry the giraffe. That was an easy one. And then the next skull we had it on was the zebra. We put it on the table very sneakily. Then we had it on the baboon skull. Then we had it on, who did we have it on next? I've forgotten. I even had to write my own answers down because I can't remember. Then we had it on the wildebeest, I forgot. And then, of course, last but not least, we had it, of course, on Mr. Wildebeest over here. Now, congratulations to a few of you who got it right. Deb and James, you guys actually win the entire competition. Not that there's ever any prizes that go up, but because you got the bonus point. You didn't just get the 6 skulls. You got the antlers that I was wearing on my head as well. That was a little sneaky little point we just threw in there. So well done to, of course, all of you. Very, very, very well done. I thought after this morning's game of I Spy Fridays, and, well, you all didn't do as well as I thought you would. That snail shell was hiding away. It was very sneaky. But I'm very impressed. You have all redeemed yourself this afternoon. And, well, congratulations. And I think that's what we're going to do every time we come to the tent. Well, every time I'm here. I quite like games. I'm not sure about anybody else, and we'll try and come up with different games every time we are here. Now, isn't it interesting about Brent and, of course, Thandi staring over into the distance and possibly looking at the Styx lions, and hopefully those Styx lions do move so that you can all get a little look at them too. I haven't seen them in such a long time. Right, let's go out of there. And we even had to change the name. But I feel as though I got a little bit too excited on the name change. I changed it from Flashing Fridays to Soggy Fridays. But it wasn't very soggy at all, so we have to change it again. Eggsy, what are we going to change it to now?
Just Friday.
Just Friday, right. It was Freaky Friday this morning. Then it was I Spy Friday, Flashing Friday, Soggy Friday. But in actual fact, it's just a normal Friday afternoon here in Africa. And well, some of you, it's only Friday morning. So I hope that you are enjoying your day. Oh, look, who is sitting on the top of the cheese? Who have we got sitting in the top of that tree? Those look like 2 Cape Glossy starlings from over here. They're looking very dull on this cloudy afternoon. But that's expected because we normally only get to see their beautiful feathers in that bright blue when the sun is around because of the iridescence. And I'm sure that they're probably quite happy for the moment that the rain didn't come just yet. You can see they're doing an evening groom before I'm sure that they go and find their new perch. Look, look, look. We've got 2 more. Can you see that one sitting there in the tree? Now those, there's a pair of them as well, are southern black tits. And that tree that you just saw the starlings sitting in, they actually were nesting in a hole in that tree. Isn't that just amazing? I think it's quite incredible. I don't know if their chicks have hatched. There's one more bird that is joined. Well, as the starlings leave, you can see the trusty old fork-tailed drongo also sitting up on the trees. Wow, isn't that amazing? How cool are all those birds? And I have to tell you as well, actually yesterday I went across to have a look at the hardy-dar nest, and I noticed that the chicks were gone, and I completely forgot to mention to you all, but I know Brent went there this afternoon and had a look, so that was good. And I think that, I don't know if Shongile or Hosana got to them. I think, and I'm hoping that those chicks fledged, because remember I pointed out that they had that stripe, that white cheek stripe across their face, and that was an indication that we're about between 25 and 27 days old. So I think just after that, it was about 3 or 4 days ago, I think it was their opportunity to go and fledge. So we'll keep an eye around in that area, because I suspect that they may hang around, of course. Oh, I'm just looking at the southern black tit again. They may hang around with their parents and learn how to forage properly. I'm sure they're not going to learn overnight how to use those long beaks. Let's see, maybe it goes into its hole. Yes, there we go. That's where they're nesting. Isn't that amazing? I'm trying to listen to see if there's chicks, but I can't hear anything just yet. So I suspect that maybe they've also fledged. I'm not sure, but it's nice to know and find so many different, of course, nests. I'll have to add another pin to my GPS, but these are ridiculous. All I can hear is the jingly bells. We shall throw those over there. And now they're shouting about. Oh, I don't want to do it, but Rebecca is begging me to do a guinea fowl alarm call, but I can't even remember what a guinea fowl sounds like. So let's go back to get my mobile device, which has all the bird calls on it. We'll quickly listen. Right, let's turn the volume on. Let's go into the birds. We'll look for G for a guinea fowl. There we are. Right, helmeted. Right. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Let me turn the sound off. It's ridiculous. I'm not doing a guinea fowl alarm call ever again in my life. That's me done. Now, Brent, Evia, you guys have got absolutely no excuses now, because I've done it. I've embarrassed myself. I feel like as though I need to go and dig myself into, maybe into a warthog burrow and hope that the roof caves in, because I'm that embarrassed. So Evia's got no excuse. So you got to keep hounding. Send through questions. I think you should hashtag Safari Live as to, really forcing Evia and Brent to do their guinea fowl alarm calls. It's only fair, don't you think? And don't be fooled, because I've done it once before where I've played the call and just hidden the mobile. Brian's actually done it. And of course, Plan, I'm letting you in on one little trick, but that's it, because I won't do it again. I'm going to practice all my calls now. So don't let them do that. Now, unfortunately, it's time for me to disappear. But Donnelly, you said that I thought that I told her once that there were no antlers in Africa. Quite right there, but sneaky, but luckily those are faux antlers. But it's been a wonderful afternoon out here in the tent, and I hope that you've enjoyed all the games that we've played with you over this morning's Sunrise Safari and, of course, this afternoon's one. But it's time for myself and Eggsy to zip the tent up, but we're going to send you back across. I don't know where I'm sending you. I think it was Brent. Was it Brent? Is it Brent? I don't know where we're going, but I'm saying goodbye to you now. And well, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm sending you, but I'm going to say goodbye now.
Welcome back. We had some problems with our signal, so unfortunately we had to leave the royal family. But as we keep rolling and moving around, let's see what else we can find. I wonder what is Taylor's story with all the bird calls and the challenges. Luckily, guinea fowl, they're not too difficult to mimic because they just make a noise. So normally they'd start off contact calling one another, and it's just... And then if they get scared... So that's my impression. We'll have to find out whose was better. mine or Taylor's, but I'm not using technology to my advantage. So let's see. Let's find out. Thank you, Taylor. Taylor's saying my alarm call was so good that the guinea fowls started chatting back to me from the tent, although we're quite far off. With this weather, it looks like there's a little bit of new growth and the termites are busy building their mound. See that dark spot, the wet spot, and just look at all those termites crawling around, adding onto their colony and onto their nest. I think these are those large fungus growing termites. So they collect grass and all sorts of other things, take it down into the mound where they farm funguses. So they've got these fungus chambers that grow their food, basically. These look like they're mostly workers just doing a bit of repairs and adding on. Coralie, you would like to know if there's a queen termite. There definitely is. She is also in a chamber somewhere in the mound, and she's being fed, she's being looked after, so she just keeps growing and growing and growing. So she becomes immobile and she just sits there producing eggs. And she'll lay thousands upon thousands of eggs every day, depending on what is needed. If it's workers that is needed, maybe, an aardvark or something attacked the termite mound and ate a lot of the working or the workforce, she'd be producing more worker eggs. If a lot of soldier eggs or soldier termites got taken out, the same thing will happen. She'll just produce soldier ants. So through pheromone in the colony, and they produce accordingly. So yeah, just something interesting with these, from the leopards to this. It's been a good afternoon. On the Taylor would like to know, on the predators list, where would the termites fall? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. While I think about that, it sounds like Brent has managed to join up with the royal family, and let's go see what they are up to.
Clear. Beautiful. Dash off. There we go. Queen Karula. Yeah, the go-away birds complaining. Where are you off to, Madam Karula? She might head towards Twin Dam. She's going to come right towards us, though. You're going to sleep right in front of the car. Oh, there we go. He's going to sleep right in front of our vehicle. Hello, Miss Karula. Where is little Hasana dashed off to? He ran through into the bush. Is that him there? Oh, well spotted, Vim. He's having a snooze through there. Is that Shongile? Is Hassan? Have they swapped over? I thought Shongile, when I heard last, was eating, but it actually looks like Hassan has moved onto the carcass. And Shongile is actually the one sleeping in the bush. Oh, you're going to drop it. Bring it back. Yes, there we go. And looks like a baby, yeah, either a baby bushbuck or baby Nyala. Now, Lane would like to know, do they eat the fur? Now, Lane, they don't. They're unable to digest keratin, which is what the hair is made out of. But it will come out in their dung. They inadvertently do eat some fur, and they'll also cough it out in hairballs. Oh, he's eating the nose at the moment. What is the Queen up to? She's just having a nice snooze right off the front of the vehicle. Wonderful spot for them. There's water close by, lots of big trees around in case any other predators happened upon. You can see how close she's come to us. Now Hassan is just hanging on to that carcass. Isn't it fascinating how he's eating through the nose? Now, of course, there's quite a lot of nutrients in that area, lots of sinuses and things like that. And the main reason often that they'll eat through there is to get to the tongue. And the tongue's still there. Sorry, I just got to help Taxon quickly get in here. Tax. Yeah, there's a view from the Skova, but I don't know if the view might be better now from the southwestern side up where they left that stuff from Twin Dams. There we go. He's going for the tongue. He's trying to get the tongue out. Copy. He managed to get some of the tongue. I'm not sure. Looked like it. Oh, he's moved on to the ear. Come on, put it up onto the branch so we can see what you're doing. I'm just going to reposition a little bit quickly so we can get a better view. Oopsie, nearly threw my camera out of the car. I got caught in the steering wheel. How's that, Vim? There we go. Oh no, let me go forward slightly more. There's that one leaf that's just in the way for me. There we go. Yeah, let's have a look. He's going to move that. It's a baby Inyala. There we go. I could see now. I could see the stripes. Look at him playing with that baby Inyala. Oh, tumble. Where's he gone now? Hopefully he hoists it back up to the top, or is he just going to be lazy and lie behind the fallen tree? There he is. He is turning into a magnificent young male leopard. There we go. Now you can see he is quite full, so he is feeding a little bit, but he's mostly playing with the carcass. Karula seems to have been making a meal out of a lot of baby Inyala this year, all along the Mawati River. I guess this must be the 4th or 5th baby Inyala we've seen them with. Hello, David in Napa. David is wondering, is the mother Inyala still nearby? I don't think so. I can't see any sign of her. Oh. And who says you're not allowed to play with your food? Now, it's always fascinating when you watch leopards that even now where there's 3 of them, you never see them sharing a carcass or eating a carcass at the same time. They will take turns, and they are solitary cats, so it's one of those interesting things about leopards. It's very rare to see 2 leopards feeding on a carcass at the exact same time. It looks like he's done, or is he just jumping down to a bit of a different spot? He really wants to put that Inyala back on the log, but it's stuck in that jackalberry. Oh! Oh, what a clown. What a clown. There we go. Success. Looks like that took a lot of energy. And so he's playing. They have fed on it quite a bit, but as you can see, he's mostly just playing with the carcass. It's absolutely magnificent to spend time with these cats, and as you're saying, the little leopards are learning so much at the moment, and both in the time that mom is away hunting and even when she is with them, you can see even the playing with the carcass is still practice. Oh, and he's done. Oh wait. Now look at him as he straddles the log. And now I've just heard that young Hosana is not the only thing lazing upon a log this afternoon. Let's go see what it is.
Hello, hello. We are enjoying a spectacular sunset again. You can see the Drakensberg Mountains in the background. I wanted to get a bit higher up in this tree, but unfortunately it's wood borer infested and quite hollow, so I would have probably broken a couple of bones if I decided to move up a bit further. You can hear, let me just do that again, how hollow this tree is after the wood borers have gotten hold of it. We've got another surprise visitor just behind Davy. There's a blue wildebeest male walking into our lovely sunset spot. Territorial male on his own, no females around. I don't think he's as lucky as the males over on Cheetah Plains at the moment, with the nice open spaces and having females in his area. I'm a bit stuck up top here, so we can't really follow him at this stage. We'll just have to maybe wait a bit. Might have to get down here very ungracefully, so I'll just stick it out and just enjoy the sunset a bit longer before I try and attempt anything funny or hurt myself. It is amazing with that weather that we had earlier. All the lightning and thunder around, that's kind of disappeared at the moment. We're heading back over to Brent, see what the royal family is up to.
Now, I don't know how Hosana... Oh, off he goes again. It's made such a... There we go. Look at that. Up and down, up and down. He's having the best time. Oh, and then now Shongili's come to join Karula, and she's giving her a nice clean. I think Hosana has eaten enough that he's going to decide that he's tired of playing and might want to go see Mom shortly. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Shongile goes to feed or Karula, because Karula looks quite hungry. The cubs both look quite well fed. Oh, you're going to drop it again? Now, I mean, look at that. Even at this young age, even though it is a baby antelope, I mean, look at that incredible strength and power that this young leopard is showing. Ooh, he's just hanging on now. Off he goes. What you gonna do with it now, mister? Back on the log. You're not eating, mister. It's time to share. And your mother looks quite hungry. Hello Mars, who's a brand new viewer joining us. Great to have you on Safari Live with us. Mars is wondering, how often do leopards eat? Well, it all depends. Normally you would say on average once every 3 days, but if you average out all the meat they eat in a month, a big male leopard will eat around 8 to 9 kilograms a day, and a female about 7 kilograms a day if you average it out over the whole month. Here we go, little female cub is getting some grooming from Mom. Oh, her brother plays the fool with the baby Inyala carcass. It looks like he might actually start eating a little bit again. But he is looking quite fat and full. Oh, an itchy ear. Oh, Karula had an itchy ear. She scratched it quite profusely there. You could almost see the ticks flying off. As I said, you can see she's still quite hungry, but she is letting the cubs feed. Elana is wondering, would there ever be a time where a female leopard will ignore or neglect her cubs? Yes. If she had an injury and she needed to look after herself, the survival instinct would take over. And or if it was something really like a pride of lions attacking them, she would try and get herself out of trouble. She wouldn't normally try attack or try to defend the cubs against a pride of lions. Now, the survival instinct runs very deep in leopards, and I've even seen female leopards, after being in a big fight and not being able to catch anything, eat their own cubs to survive. And the reason behind this is that they can always have more cubs. So they would rather survive and lose a set of cubs and then mate again. And they lose cubs regularly. The leopard cub mortality rate in this part of the Sabi Sands is around 70%. So it is not unusual for a leopard to lose one or both cubs. But Karula seems to be one of the better mothers out there, and she has reared a lot of cubs to adulthood. If I try to think about it, Misho and Duna, Shavambalan, Shavinzi, Quarantine, Kunuma, Shadow. Let me just start again. I got lost there. Mixo and Duna, Shavambalan, Shavinzi, Shadow, Thandi, Quarantine, Kunuma, and now these two, which would make it 10 cubs. Now, for a leopard of her age, that is incredibly impressive to actually have 10 adults. So when we say adult, they made it to a year old, and basically that massive mortality rate in leopards drops very, very a lot. There we go. You can see what she was scratching at. Oh, I think that's a scab from Mr. Tingana and their love affair from being bitten at the back of the neck while they were mating. Geez, 10 cubs, that's incredible. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, we're doing a tour of young Shongile at the moment. Oh, it looks like she's got a little landing strip there. Nice little tight bunch of spots at the base of her tail. Well, that's not that's the start of her tail, should I say. There's the base of her tail, and what wonderful fluffy white spot. If we go back just to her back, there we go. See, from her tail going up her back, very equal little set of wide landing strip as well. It's called an airstrip. Quarantine also had one, and who was the other leopard that had a very distinct? Mvula, I think, also has quite a distinct one. See there, Karula's not so straight. Yeah, Trouble. Are you finished playing with your food now? Are you going to eat something or let your mother have a turn? Munch, munch, munch. Well, at least he is feeding and not playing with his food now. We can hear that as oxpeckers flying overhead. Callie is wondering, can we hear a red-chested cuckoo in the distance? I can't hear one right now. There might have been one curling a little bit earlier, but we've got that coffee, tea or me, which is orange-breasted bushshrike. We've got Cape turtle dove saying work harder, work harder. What else can I hear? Have you spotted a bird, yeah? Oh, there we go, the chirp of a woodlands kingfisher. Of oxpeckers in the distance. Crested francolin. We have almost everything except a red-chested cuckoo, but this is the type of area where they do like to hang out. So there might have been one calling earlier, I just might not have noticed it. That's another call of the orange-breasted bushshrike. Now, of course, Karula was mating with Tingana not that long ago, and there is a possibility she might be pregnant. Angie in Wisconsin was wondering about that and asking would she be hanging around with the cubs. Well, as you can see, there we go. She is between the two cubs. Now, they don't get pregnant every time they mate, but there is obviously a possibility she's pregnant. And as I said, I don't think it was a false estrus that caused her to mate with Mr. Tingana, because it carried on for so long. And I think it might just be a bit of old age messing with her hormones and sending her estrus cycles out of sync, because normally she should only be coming into estrus when these cubs are closer to 2 years old. If she is pregnant and does give birth while these cubs are not even 15 months old, it'll be a really interesting thing to see what happens. Would these cubs kill the new cubs? Will she chase these cubs to independence younger? It'd be something really fascinating to watch unfold. I've got a feeling I think Osana would eat cubs if she had cubs. And male leopards do that regularly. So as I was saying, out of the known mortalities in the Sabi Sands, 70% of leopard cub mortalities are attributed to other leopards, and specifically other male leopards. Oh, Shangila's up. Oh, just to lie down again, a little bit closer to us, but still keeping her back to us. Oh, flop. You see trying to keep away from the biting flies. You can see that she's attacking them back. And you can see her skin shimmering slightly. That sort of nervous reaction. Well, it's not a nervous reaction, it's the nerves that are designed to do that, to try keep those biting flies off her body. Hello, Sylvia in Oregon. Sylvia is wondering, do we have tsetse flies in this area? There used to be tsetse flies. They were wiped out, I think, in the 50s by a DDT spraying over the area. So no more tsetse flies in the Leopards, but historically they were. Oh, roll over. Oh, she's really getting upset with these flies. Very busy little girl. Oh, and she saw that fly land on her nose that she tried to bite. Just can't get comfortable. I've got a big belly, it's hot, and the flies keep nipping me on the nose. What is this world coming to? Heavy breathing. So that rain did not materialize, and it is still incredibly hot in this area. Oh, get that fly, Shongi. We're going to not move from this spot, see what happens next with the royal family, and while we do that, let's go see what Stripes FW has found.
We have found another amazing spot to look at the sunset, and in our presence we've got some zebra and a nice breeding herd of impala. Ooh, they look a bit feisty. See how the ears are pulled back on both of them, back closer to the neck and head. I wonder if it's a female. Maybe it was kind of dominance display from the other one, and the other one recognizing that, showing that it's a subordinate. I was told a very interesting story about zebra by a tracker that I used to work with. He was in a sighting where lions were hunting zebra, and a lioness was on a zebra's back, and she ran and chose one of these lower branched trees to run underneath, and there was just enough space for her and not enough space to get under for the lion, and that's how she got away. She basically used the tree to get the lion off her back and make an escape. I would guess that lion must have had a massive headache afterwards. I've also heard stories of zebra kicking lion and breaking their front legs. So although they just look like they're not too dangerous, if they have to protect themselves and get away from a predator, they'll do what they can do to survive. Looks like that one was chasing that youngster around. You see how long the legs are on the youngster? Maybe we'll get a reference point from one of the other zebras walking past it. Its body is basically the same line as the adults, and when they're in a group like this, that allows them to blend into the group much better, and predators can't single out the youngster. So their legs are extremely long for their body. It looks quite awkward. It's biting each other. Youngsters at play, bullying each other. Michael, you would like to know if mares in a zebra herd are related. I think some would be, but not all of them. I know males go and almost kidnap mares from other herds as well. And that is also how a new herd or a harem begins, is a male that's now strong enough to get a group of his own will go or move close to these herds and try and steal these lady or a lady from a harem of another male, and so he will build his own group. The young males, they'll get kicked out, they'll join bachelor herds of males and carry on with life. I think the females would most likely stay around and stick around in the herd that they were born in unless they taken by another male. These youngsters are full of energy. I wonder if they're telling us a story, if they're feeling something brewing. I can see to the north of us it's getting very, very dark, so there's definitely rain about, just nothing has really come down here yet. So hopefully it does, but we never know. We'll have to find out. Often the way those two are standing there, they'll also clean each other like this. They'll stand facing the opposite direction, busy grooming each other, and it's quite important to the way they stand like that, to have a 360-degree view of what is going on around them. So covering all angles to see if there's any predators maybe in the area and to react accordingly. Doug, you would like to know why zebras aren't covered in ticks like buffalo. I think, like I was talking about the grooming earlier, they groom each other, they groom themselves a bit, and they also often roll around in the dust. I'm just going to move back a little bit. They're moving into a nice, more open spot. So yeah, that helps to their cleanliness, is the grooming and rolling around in the dust. That makes them a lot cleaner than the buffalo. So the buffalo use the mud as their way of cleaning themselves. Coates, you would like to know what sort of dynamics a zebra herd has. Basically a dominant male and then a group of females with their offspring. Is a very quick breakdown of their dynamics. The male will try and keep these females as close to him as he can. If they move off too far, he'll go round them up and bring them back. He wants to keep a good eye on them. Like I mentioned earlier, he doesn't want any other males stealing them from him. Another favorite zebra sighting I've just remembered. We found a young zebra foal probably 15-20 minutes after being born. It was just starting to get to his feet. Very wobbly legs at that stage still. And it was quite a lot of fun watching him try getting up and start moving around. At that young age, when zebras give birth, they move away from the herd, from the group. Important thing there is for mum and baby to form a bond and recognize each other. So mostly I would say on smell and then visual recognition. Something even for us we can use if we had to study zebra and really get to identify them and know them a lot better. You look at the shoulder blade, there's a triangular shape in the stripe pattern, and each one is different. The entire stripe pattern is almost like, well, it is like our fingerprints, but that specific area is an easy area to study and to start identifying different individuals. You can see just the two standing there, how different the patterns are. These youngsters are really being silly. When they're bigger and they're seriously fighting, they'll often bite each other, and every now and then you find a male without a tail. As they bite, they stand around each other and they jump up on their back legs, and as they come down biting, the last piece available is the tail, and often that gets pulled off. Hey, you being naughty, you're gonna get kicked in the face. Well, sometimes they have to learn the hard way with a bit of pain. I love those beautiful mohawks, the hair on the neck that's upright like that. When they start losing condition, those hairs start falling over and flopping over. So with this being upright like that, we can definitely tell that they are still in good health and getting healthier and healthier after the drought we had. I think with gaining condition after the drought, every day they get good food, it'll help and add on to their condition. But to get in 100% health, it might take a couple of months at least, just to get everything back to the right levels. One thing that I did realize through the drought though is that your animals that are not ruminants handle this a little bit better because of the kind of less nutrients in the grass. Just the amount that they take in and not utilizing it very well gave them enough sustenance to keep going. So they got that little bit they needed to keep going, and they lost their condition a lot slower than animals like buffalo that are ruminants that utilize every bit of grass that they eat. Although buffalo are bulk feeders as well, they just eat and eat and eat and eat any grass that they can get. The rumination and all that takes every bit of energy out of the plants that they eat. And with a drought like we had, your nutrients are a lot less. Dina, you would like to know if the stripe patterns are exact copies on both left and right side of the animals. I don't think so. I think it is very random at how the pattern develops and how it looks. It is, everyone's unique, so everything will change all over the body. Sometimes, well, yeah, each one will be different, both sides will be different, all over the body will be different on either side of whatever it might be. Just look at those colors coming through again, through the tree. Look at that. From earlier when it cooled down so much with the wind and the lightning and thunder around, it is getting quite humid again. So I think with the clouds moving a bit further away, it's building again, maybe building up for a storm later tonight. But at the moment it's quite sticky out here. Folks, I think we're going to move on. We're going to see what else we can find before the end of show tonight. Let's see if we can find one or two more things, maybe a bit more. Who knows what's still out there waiting for us to find them. As we keep searching around, we're going to head back to Brent and see what he's up to and what the cubs are up to.
Okay guys, we're going to have one last quick look at these leopards. It's getting a bit too dark. The kill is still on the ground, so we're not going to put any lights or spotlights here because the clever hyenas have learnt after so many years in the Sabi Sands to follow spotlights to look for leopard kills. And there we go. There's young Hosanna munching away, so we're going to leave these leopards right now. Now, I'm hoping, are we in reverse, Viam? Okay, my clutch did a pop, so I think I had to bleed the clutch earlier, so I think what happened is there was just a little air pocket left and caused the car to jump. Well, we'll see what happens when I start, whether we start. No, I think it was just a little air pocket in my clutch. Okay. So we're going to try get ourselves out of here. Where's Queen Karula? She's over there. Shongila's there. Let's see, maybe we can just go forward. I think we are not going to go just forward off there. No, I just want to leave Andrew out. So while we leave these leopards, we're going to say, send you back to Efia while I try and negotiate down this steep bank.
Welcome back. I'm going to use the spotlight a bit and see if maybe we can pick up on a chameleon or a bush baby. That's maybe a chameleon sitting close to the road on one of these green bushes, or a bush baby jumping around somewhere, moving from tree to tree. Switch on a couple more lights here. So animals of different age, well, different animals handle these sharp lights in a different way, and a lot of your young creatures, their eyes have not adapted to these strong lights yet. So not using the spotlight on the cubs is very important, not only for their eyes but also not to make them vulnerable to other predators. So maybe a hyena moving around, seeing as Karula and the cubs are on a kill, hyena might be interested in it. They might have picked up the smell and start moving around. And we don't want to add any unnecessary risk to their lives with the spotlights until they're a lot bigger. That's one thing. Your herbivores, they don't do well with the spotlights. You can blind them for quite a while, maybe up to a half an hour if you keep the lights on them for too long. What then happens, you just give the predators an unfair advantage. It's the same when maybe predators are hunting and you keep the lights on them. You're illuminating them and you're giving the prey species a chance to see them. So we don't want to have any hand in altering things that has to happen naturally. And that is why we use these spotlights with a huge amount of respect to the animals. You'll see if we do see something like impala, my light will go off immediately. I'll switch the vehicle lights off, drive past it, and then only switch it on again. Come on, chameleons, show yourselves. So what I'm looking for when I'm trying to find a chameleon, although it is green in color as well, it just shines out a little bit more. It sticks out almost like a neon light through these, or in between these green branches. There are some impala ahead of us. I'm just going to switch the lights off quickly. And then carry on. Shift turn there. I'll turn on the next one. I quickly want to see what's happening at Sydney's Dam. Just maneuver the vehicle here. We are past those impala again. Get those lights on. Look at Sydney's Dam if anyone's come for a drink. Don't see anything at the moment. Dracula, you would like to know if we've ever run into a killer bee. I definitely haven't. I don't know about any of the other guys, but yeah, from my side, I've been fortunate enough not to have had any contact with that. Darby, have you had? No, same here. So, hopefully the killer bees stay away. Just passing that herd of impala again. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see if we can bump into one of those chameleons or maybe a bush baby jumping around. I mean, a nice different thing to see to all the other things we've been seeing this afternoon. It has been an exceptional afternoon with the cats. 4 different leopards on one drive. It's been really good, and all being related in one way or another. So it's quite interesting. Rosa, you would like to see a pangolin? Yo, we are going to have to hope for some serious magic if we're going to bump into a pangolin. We know they're out here, so it's not impossible. But I haven't seen a pangolin in maybe 3 years. Darby, have you seen pangolin before?
Yeah,
Awesome. Whereabouts? Maybe we can go check it out.
we have to go to Cheetah Plains.
Oh, do we need to go to Cheetah Plains? Yeah. That's going to be a long drive. We're going to have to do a real Ferrari safari. Maybe get this vehicle flying, and I might turn into an airline captain instead of a Land Rover driver. Are you testing me? It's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are going to be flying at about 5 feet. Our destination will hopefully be reached in about an hour. So let's fasten our seatbelts and enjoy the ride. I have to be there in 4 minutes. Yo. Maybe we need to try for tomorrow. I think it's going to be a bit of a push. So let's rather slow it down again and see if we can find a chameleon. And maybe a pangolin decides to pop up on Juma. Who knows? Let's see. It looks like all that lightning has moved all around us. There's a lot of lightning to the east now. Every now and then I just get these strikes in the corner of my eye. Bree, you would like to know, with all the changes in temperature and the thunderstorms rolling in, if there's a possibility for tornadoes. Well, I'm not going to say no, because over the last season or so, every now and then there has been recordings of small tornadoes in some parts of South Africa, which isn't a very common thing, but they do occur around here every now and then. I think it's more of a very strong whirlwind than a full-on tornado, but it does happen from time to time. I don't think this is going to end up being one. We'll have to find out maybe tomorrow morning if I was right or wrong on the news. But no, I don't think we're gonna have any issues with tornadoes. Folks, it has been an exceptional afternoon. It's been a wonderful afternoon getting to know some more leopards. So today, another new leopard for me in Karula. And I hope my luck will continue over the next couple of days. It is time for us to say goodbye. From my side and from all the other guys around, Brent and Taylor, thank you for a lovely afternoon. Brent sends his regards and saying goodbye. Davy, thank you for all your help. And I hope everyone has a lovely day wherever you are in the world, or a lovely evening. We'll see you on the sunrise safari.